The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Pit Life BBQ podcast. Join us around the pit as we talk all things barbecue. Now here is your host, Johnnie Maggs.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life BBQ podcast, coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café in Salem, New Hampshire. Chrissy, how are you?
Good, Johnny. How are you?
Good. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thanks. Happy Valentine's Day.
You're barbecue.
Oh, that's cute. Did you hand Claudia your card that said that?
Oh, Heath Riles from Heath Riles Barbecue literally just posted maybe an hour ago of Valentine's, and he's got his picture on it. And it was one of them was, "You are barbecue. Will you be my grill friend?"
Oh, my God.
And roses are red,
great.
violets are blue. My grill is hot, and so are you.
I like that.
Yeah, it was good. Then Dutch sent them to me in Messenger. I'm like, oh, those are awesome.
Aww.
Yeah, Valentine's Day, so we're getting ready to sit down tonight and watching all the hot-shaped ribeyes. Just how they cut them. They like fillet them open.
Yeah.
And it looks like a hot,
yeah,
how
like
the
butterflied.
steak. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah,
that's
watch all that. And
I'm so not romantic on Valentine's Day. This was my Valentine's Day. Everyone ready for this? I wake up, shower, do my thing. Right before the boyfriend leaves, I was like, oh. I'm like, also, it's just weird if I don't at least say something. So happy Valentine's Day. And then that's it. Like, I love you the same every day of the week.
It.
Like,
I'm sitting there at the island. I'm staring at her this morning. She's like, what? I go, did you get me anything for Valentine's Day? She goes, no. I go, good. Neither did I.
Yeah.
We're good. See you later.
If you got me flowers tomorrow, well, no, tomorrow would be cheaper because it just means you bought old flowers from the place. But any other day of the week, I'd be more impressed than if someone bought me something on Valentine's Day. But yeah.
Nice. Let's see. Daddy Dutch, Chris Wazinski. What's up, brother? Oh, yeah, Daddy Dutch. Oh, boy, the champ is here. Sir William of Purvis.
Oh, yes.
Matt Pereira, what's going on, brother? Enjoy those rubs, brother. You're going to love them. They're great. But yeah, let's get down to it because we're going to have some fun today with Brother Bill.
We are. Let's hit our sponsors first, shall we?
Hey, Jared, what's happening? Go ahead. Today's episode brought to you by
Uncle Steve Shakes. Have you ever wondered why you have a line? No, your neighbor has a line. And
See, you can't do it either.
It's all right, because I was going to say, don't worry. Let's try that again. Uncle Steve Shakes. Have you ever wondered why your neighbor has a line in their backyard and you don't? That's because your neighbor's using Uncle Steve Shakes and you are not, which means one thing. Chrissy, you better get you some. Greg's not here. We can't throw it back, see? Normally Chrissy would throw it. Greg would throw to Chrissy. This is terrible. Uncle Steve's Shakes.
This was your idea.
Yeah, and I should have thought this through. I said, let me help you with the advertisers. Yeah, they just pulled out. Uncle Steve has some of the best shakes and rubs that you will ever try, including, it's not a sauce, it's a sauce, not a rub. The sauce with no name, my personal favorite. He has 16 flavors, including the competition. 12, whatever. He's going to make some more, I'm sure of it. I'm butchering this. Please, I'm panicking. Help me. Uncle Steve has some of the best customer service that you will ever get. That's because he answers your calls himself. And sometimes he'll even call you if he has a question about your order. Call Uncle Steve Shake. There's a phone number. I'm panicking. Help, Johnny. Please, I'm drowning.
Check Uncle Steve's ad out at UncleSteveShake.com and also join his Facebook group, Uncle Steve's Shake Nation, for giveaways, discounts, and all things shake.
I love you, Uncle Steve. I'm so sorry. I'm going to write a script this week. It's going to be the most professional commercial you ever heard last week.
Uncle Steve Shake. Shake some on everything. Also brought to you by Two Guys Smoke Shop and TwoGuysCigars.com. Whether we're barbecuing or not, I always keep the smoke rolling. Thanks to my friends at TwoGuysCigars.com. Today I am smoking the Perdomo 10th Anniversary Champagne. I've always loved this cigar.
That's why we saved it for you.
It is smoky as hell.
Oh, yeah.
But it is so nice breakfast cigar, nice and light. You know, beautiful. Thanks to my friends at TwoGuysCigars.com. I get to smoke some of the best cigars in the world, and so can you. Just visit TwoGuysCigars.com for your perfect barbecue companion. That's the number 2, GuyCigars.com.
Here we go.
Also brought to you by and Go.
Magna Chef gloves. Our friend Alan Fonte is a Miami-Dade firefighter, so he knows a little bit about fire management. We have the traditional Magna Chef glove in the, I like to call it the Spock, if you will.
The Web Fit.
The Web Fit glove. Heat rated up to 500 degrees. It's, dishwasher safe silicone. And it has the easy on-off magnets on the cuff there. So, very easy. If you want to have the more traditional 5-finger glove and a little more
the extra long
protection,
gauntlet on the
extra
forearms.
long gauntlet, you can have the Freedom gloves. They are rated up to 932 degrees.
That's right.
So we have the Freedom gloves and the Magna Chef gloves. Magna Chef
Master the Fire.
Master the Fire and Freedom gloves.
Take a stand,
free your hand. And if you go to the website, the link is below in the description, and you put in the code
Freedom Live.
you will get 10% off your order.
That is right.
Magna Chef gloves.
Absolutely.
I did a little better that time.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
You're a rookie. This is the first time.
Come on.
It's new for everything.
Hey, I still didn't use a teleprompter like the young co-host that we're not going to mention.
Also brought to
Love you,
you by
Grace.
CustomCuttingBoardsRS.com. Brother Ian Hemming is building what I could call the Yeti of cutting boards coming out of Magnolia, Texas. These boards take an absolute beating, folks. I've had mine going on 5 years, and they are still holding up. UV protected, deep lip reservoir to catch all that juicy goodness. The rubber nubs on the bottom, even on a wet surface, the boards will not slip on you. There is the dishwasher board, which is your standard countertop board. The massive brisket board, 18 by 36 inches, folks. This thing is massive. And then for all our pizza fans out there, he's got the pizza board for that perfect slice every time. Check it out at CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com. That is the letter R, us.com. Let's see. Frack Daddy, what's up, Big Rome? Joe Tucker, Juke Moreno, what is up, brother? Been a while. There's Mrs. Maggs. Oh, Sean Hogan, what's up, brother? Stray Dog Barbecue, what's happening? Mad Max calling you out, brother. Won't be long now, my friend. Kevin Turner, what is going on? So let's go. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, returning, I think maybe the third time now. But
Probably. I think
the first time I can call him San Antonio Rodeo champion. Grand champion.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Chicken Fried Barbecue, Mr. Bill Purvis. What's happening, brother?
Man, it's all good, Mr. Maggs, all good.
Yeah.
So just hanging out with my banners, you know.
Yeah, that is a little bit of sexy behind you.
Yeah, no, they're special for sure. They're super special.
Damn straight. Oh, I was so excited. like I said, when I messaged you the other day, I'm like, hey, you still on cloud nine, or you pretty much sick of talking about this?
Man, I'm still floating. I'm still
Yeah.
floating. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was awesome. So
For sure.
yeah, San Antonio is a special cook in the sense that man, it's the second largest sanctioned cook-off in America, maybe in the world, outside of obviously the largest is a Royal. So it's the second largest sanctioned cook-off, and it's one that, man, all the cooks can go to.
Yeah.
So if you want to, it's $700 entry fee. This year was a little bit different. It's starting to change, but for the most part, man, you're cooking up against the best cooks in Texas, and they have several international teams there as well. So it's unlike Houston, where Houston, there's a lot of legacy teams, and Houston stays full. To get into Houston, an average cook can't go cook Houston Rodeo.
Yeah.
But a competitor, if you're a competitor, you can go cook San Antonio Rodeo, and you're cooking up against the best. You're not cooking up Houston's got a lot of teams that maybe, somebody's grandfather had that team and it's been passed down. So, man, it don't matter. once you're in Houston, if you pay the money, man, you can come in dead last every year and you still got your spot.
Yeah.
So the average guy can't go cook Houston. It's all legacy teams. So it's special to go win that one where you're up against, all your peers, all the competitors. And, there's still like I said, a healthy crowd over, I don't know if it was, 270 teams. I can't remember the team count, but it was big. So, and it's the one that all the cooks in Texas really want to win.
Yeah, for
the competition
sure.
Cooks. So,
for sure. So, rewinding a bit. Last year at San Antonio, you wound up reserve grand champion it.
Correct.
After all that mishap, scoring issues that unfortunately happened, which honestly, it was, it's still weird, but it's surprising it doesn't actually happen more often with the amount of teams, the amount of judges, the amount of scores everybody's going through, But the unfortunate part was you didn't get the walk to celebrate the reserve grand. Everything kind of worked well with everybody on the same page with the understanding on how the calls were originally. Then once the issue was resolved, the standings changed, and everyone was very gentlemanly about it, and understood it was what it was. This is what I cooked. This is the score, and this is where I placed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, just for clarification on that, I got my scores, and I had a second place brisket and a 160th place rib, and I think a 22nd place chicken. And when I got to looking at my rib scores, they had, you get judged by 6 judges and they drop one of the scores. Well, for me, they dropped 2 of the scores. So I only had 4 judges counting points wise. I didn't get that 5th judge. And then they found it's all done, IBCA at that time, it was just done by spreadsheets, people hand entering. And, they just didn't hand enter in that score, that 5th judge. And once they did, it moved my rib to 8th place, which was obviously enough for a reserve grand. So, but in fairness, I think it does happen a lot more than people know. And for IBCA to come out and say, hey, we screwed up, I thought it was big on their part, because I think there's probably a lot of cook-offs that stuff like that's happened, and no one has said anything, and you're none the wiser if you don't know. But as we move more into technology where, people are posting results and they're posting what your judges score, then I was able to see it and go, actually a buddy of mine saw it and goes, man, you only got 4 judges. You need to challenge it. So, I messaged them, and, they went and found the right, they found the paperwork, and they made it right. So it was bad for Larry, the guy that did reserve.
Yeah.
That's who I felt bad for, just because, it was probably one of the biggest highlights of his career, barbecue career, was reserve in San Antonio. And to get a call on a Tuesday to say, hey, you're going to have to return the buckle, you're going to have to return the banners,
Yeah.
And he's a great guy. He's an awesome guy. And, I felt terrible for him. So it was kind of bittersweet. And, this year, obviously things worked out to where I ended up winning it. So, I couldn't be more happy. So,
yeah. So, you had the moment with last year. So now we fast forward back to 2 weeks ago. And what was it like? What was going through your head, getting the calls originally, then sitting there in grand champion, little hesitation, then boom.
Yeah, it's a little different because it's this one was Lone Star, sanctioned by Lone Star. So you get points for first place brisket is 10 points. First place in any meat is 10 points, and second place is 9 points. So, I knew the chicken was bad, but 11th place chicken is no points, and 277th chicken is no points. So when me and my wife, we're tasting the chicken, she's like, yeah, I'm not really feeling chicken. And I'm like, man, screw that chicken. We don't need chicken. If we can get a good rib call and a good brisket call, man, we could win it. We could actually win that contest with just a first place brisket. It's not uncommon.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Because you get 10 points for first place, and there was only me and one other team that had 2 calls. So J.D. Williams had an 8th place brisket and an 8th place rib. but 8th place is only worth, I think, 4 points. No, 3 points. So he got, he had six points total for 3 points for 8th place brisket, 3 points for 8th place ribs, 6 points. First place brisket beats that with 10 points. So, we were sitting there, and man, I knew the ribs and I knew the brisket were both really good. But in saying that, there's going to be a lot of good ribs and a lot of good brisket, so you just need luck.
Oh,
and, and when they called out 5th place ribs, obviously it was like, man, my weekend was complete at that point. I was thinking, I don't care about anything else. I'm going to get one of those triangle banners for 5th place ribs. And, when you got almost 300 teams, they're only going to give out 30 of those banners.
Yeah.
Out of 300. So anybody that walks away with a banner feels like a winner that weekend, even if it's a 10th place rib or 10th place chicken. So my weekend was complete, and I came back, and I was sitting there, and Fred Robles says, man, you're in really good shape with that 5th place rib. And I was like, man, I feel like I'm in good shape. I just need to get lucky on brisket. I got lucky on ribs. And sure enough, it was funny too, because my wife, usually they give you ticket numbers in Lone Star. So they call out your number and you're looking at your tickets. And I usually take a picture of all 3 of my tickets with my phone, and I text it to her as we're sitting there. So, man, my phone may go dead. So here's the ticket number. So I don't have to be digging around, and, I keep them in the wallet. And they called out that rib number, and her eyes lit up because she's watching it on our phone. And she looks at me, she goes, that's our number. I said, yeah, babe, I know it is. Let's go get that banner. So it was fun to watch her reaction when they would call the numbers, because she was like, oh, that's our number, but when I left, I was up there for 3rd place brisket, and AJ Garza with God's Country Barbecue, man, he's a great brisket cook. He got 2nd place brisket, but he didn't have any other calls. So I knew he couldn't catch me. And as I'm walking back, I already knew I was in the lead with 2 strong calls. I had 14 points, and no one else had doubled up except for JD. So as they called out 1st place brisket and Aaron Leslie, I was like, man, Aaron just got 1st place brisket. He doesn't have any other calls. Man, there's no way he can catch me. I just won it. So I knew when they called out Texas Oil Dust for 1st place brisket, at that point, I knew I was the GC. And everybody in my camp, when I came back and, obviously sat down, they were all, man, you're GC, you got it. Congratulations. So people were already congratulating him before they call out reserve, before they call out grand, because you can do the numbers.
You can do the math real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do the math. Whereas other sanctioning bodies, man, they don't work like that.
Yeah.
So CBA, you never know if you've won it until they actually call it out. Same with KCBS, you don't know. So it's a bit more exciting to sit there waiting for them to call it out. It was kind of a little bit, not as exciting knowing that as I'm walking back that I've won it, So, but you still wait for your name to be called just to be double sure.
Oh, yep. Oh, for sure.
Those guys up there were like, hey, you might want to just hang out close. And I'm like, man, I ain't hanging out nowhere close. I'm walking back to my seat.
I'm not jinxing myself.
I ain't jinxing anything,
Oh, for sure. Junior, what's happening? Judge Webb, what's going on? Matt Wilford, what's happening? Randy Salinas, what's up? Both Salinas boys are in the house. Brother James Pavia, what's happening? Aim 'em and claim 'em. Yeah. Obviously, you said you're going to be cooking Houston. Big Rome is asking, what are you looking forward to in Houston?
Man, Houston, it's a family reunion. I know tons of people down there. It's just it's just a big social gathering. I'm helping a team. So a buddy of mine, Fong, I've always helped him. And I think this year he wants me to cook the chicken. So I'll cook chicken for him. I think he's doing the ribs and other guys doing the brisket. So every year I usually do one of his meats. But man, and this year I'm glad it's chicken because, man, I don't have to get up super early and cook brisket, So,
for sure.
But next year with the win at San Antonio, that gets me on Champions Row. So it'll be me cooking, all my meats under my team name as opposed to, helping other teams or whatnot. So, but it'd just be a big social gathering. Like I said, I mean, it'd be a lot of guys that I haven't seen, comp cooks that coming in from out of town. I've got all the guys on Champions Row. I'm real good friends with all
Yeah.
of them. So I'll probably be spending a lot of time on Champions Row with most of those guys. Chris Schaefer, he's from Illinois or St. Louis. He'll be down. Matter of fact, I have his trailer. I'm storing his trailer for Houston. So
Okay.
Fred will be down because Fred won San Antonio last year. So, man, it'll just be a crowd, like I said. And, of course, you guys, you'll be down. There'll just be a ton of people.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Oh, we're all excited. All the little secrets came out this weekend. So Daddy Dutch knows that both me and CJ are coming. And so,
Right.
the old hot seat live and in living color, and the new hot seat too. Lep will be there, and Joe, what's happening? So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person finally, and catching up with all the boys, and do a little networking. I've already been in touch with Jen from the Danny Dietz cook-off.
Yep.
And gonna meet up with her, and we're gonna figure out a date to get her on to talk about that.
That's a premier cook-off
Yeah.
in Texas.
And
for
everything
sure.
they
Danny Dietz is the
do
big
with
one.
with Danny.
Oh, yeah.
All the funds and the.
That's another one
with
that's
the
super
vets.
special that everybody wants to win.
Yeah.
Is Danny Dietz. It's
Yeah.
another one that's real special. So.
Yeah, and looking on the map real quick. I think she's only technically quote unquote 2 streets away from where we are. We're going to be with Uncle Steve with the Lonesome Dove Cookers.
Yep.
And I think they were, just the street names in between each thing, and they were on the corner of 1 or 2 of them up. But yeah, get to meet a lot of people, get to catch up with a lot of people. So I'm really looking forward to it. And a couple other little things in between, so have some fun. Okay, Randy's got a good one. Randy Salinas from Big Salinas BBQ asked, what means more, the San Antonio GC or your very first GC?
San Antonio by far.
Yeah.
San Antonio by far. Yeah, I've cooked San Antonio twice. And I was talking to one of my buddies before I went there my first time. He said, man, there's nothing like walking at San Antonio. The big stage and just all the excitement. And, the guy that's up there, he's like a radio host or something. So he's a professional on the microphone. But he said, there's nothing like walking in San Antonio. And of course, the crowd is full of all, it's full of all cooks that as well as, man, there's a lot of people from the public there because there's a huge carnival going on and they've got live music and bands. But yeah, walking in San Antonio was by far, it's right there with the Royal.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, there's AJ Gaza right there. He just popped in. Sorry, I'm late. Oh, dang, I'm late.
Right. I gave you a shout out earlier, AJ, on that brisket. And it's funny because last year I got second brisket and AJ got third brisket, and this year he got second brisket and I got third. So,
guys, you're switching around. That's all right. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, he won brisket team of the year in CBA, so he's a badass. So God's Country Barbecue is his team name. You ought to get him on the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's no joke.
Yeah, you'll have to do a little introduction next week.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's Uncle Steve. There's my boy right there. He's all excited.
Oh yeah, Uncle Steve's got them all coming in. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, so, it's gonna be just short of a shit show, I think, which will be beautiful. Right. But we wouldn't have it any other way. But so you're still on the high of the GC.
Still spinning.
You've been doing interviews and everything, and I've been catching them all, and they're great. So, like I said, when I first asked you, I'm like, you got room for one more? He goes, absolutely, absolutely. So I know the last time we talked, so obviously your Texas rib grind is still crushing it, obviously. You said you had a couple other things working on. Have we made any progress on that?
Yeah, I'm working on a chicken brine, so I've got to get the artwork done. I've got the recipe done, so I've been running the chicken brine, and I ran it last week. I guess there was right at 200 teams, and it hit 5th place. So it's been scoring well. At the moment, I'm leading CBA in chicken. So the chicken's been doing really, really good, and it's been thighs. I couldn't cook thighs at San Antonio. San Antonio
Yeah.
was Lone Star, so I had to cook chicken halves. But yeah, the brine, I'm working on it. So I'm thinking probably another month or two once I get artwork done, get it in the bags, and then get it out to the stores. So, but rib grind's been doing great too. There's, it's pretty cool to see, like I got fifth place rib, but I got beat. Robert Rocha, he's a big consumer of rib grind, and I think he's publicly said it was on his first place rib. So, it's cool to see, like I said, me walking with it, but also seeing other people do well with it too. So, which is done good for sales for sure. So.
Oh, heck yeah. And like I said, I absolutely love it. And it's always, it's a staple in everything I do, and do with a lot of mixing around and layering the flavors. It just works great, like you said, on ribs, or, but on also chicken, on brisket, on the pork. It's a very versatile seasoning, and great flavor, great bark. But what you were saying with the chicken, we can jump to last weekend. You were at Smoking on the Rio down in Mercedes, Texas, and with the chicken, you hit a fifth place chicken, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, fifth chicken.
Now, how many teams was that? Because was that one considered a world championship too?
Yeah. They had I mean, that one has historically, that contest has always been on the same weekend as the Houston Rodeo, but it's always had over 200 teams.
Yeah.
So this year it was actually, I guess the dates got moved, so they weren't on the same weekend. So there was quite a few people that normally cook Houston be able to cook it. So. But yeah, I mean, it's who's who of barbecue down there. There's no shortage of great teams, and man, I finished 13th overall with the fifth chicken. So there's no one that's gonna tattoo them every time, but that's what you want. If you don't win, you want to get close. So and then it's just a numbers game of keep cooking, and sooner or later you're gonna hit a bullseye. So
yeah, for sure. Oh, there's Jen from Danny Dietz right there. She says, remember, Houston's a marathon, not a sprint. They've already warned me on that on multiple levels. On food consumption, on alcohol consumption.
It's a massive party.
Yeah.
I mean, it is massive.
Yeah, it's, if there's 300 tents, it's 300 nightclubs. That's basically what everybody said.
Yeah.
So with Randy Shifter, what's happening, brother? So with everything going on, and your posts on social media, everybody can see, not necessarily the turn-in boxes, but what you're cooking, what you're producing. I don't know. You had a picture of the chicken thigh from last weekend that was absolutely gorgeous, and then your TikTok videos are great and everything. So you've had the opportunity and were approached, I want to say, sometime in between, or at least it came out, sometime in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, of you now have joined in with Barbecue Champs Academy on your own video series.
Yep.
How did that all come about, and how's that going?
Well, I mean, I lost my job during COVID, and I started selling rubs, my rib grind, which does pretty well, but at the same time too, it didn't necessarily match my income from before. And Barbecue Champs has been after me for a couple of years of, I told myself, man, if I do it, I want to give out the real recipes. I'm not going to, put someone, running into, the forest and, like I said, not putting the real deal out there. So I kind of put it off for probably a year and a half. But at the same time, too, my wife's looking at me like, hey, we could use a little more income. And, I'm pretty open book, as far as, man, people I know, we all kind of help each other out.
Yeah.
But, man, there's a lot of people I don't know. And equally so, man, I put it out there, and obviously it's doing really, really good. Been selling quite a few classes. So it's me telling my wife, hey, man, maybe I don't have to go back to work.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
sure.
And of course, getting the sport to grow, competition barbecue is expensive in its own right with the meats and everything else. And, these guys going to cook-offs, new cooks going to cook-offs and not getting a walk, not getting any calls. It's, it's super frustrating. So,
Yeah.
If I can do something, make a little income out of it, where I'm not necessarily, having to go get a real job, it's just another revenue stream. And man, at the same time, I'm helping people, and I use my rub in all my proteins. So equally so, it's more rub sales for me, and it just keeps the whole ecosystem working.
Oh, so. For sure. So how was that process? Now, did they, come to? I know you have set up a little, like a kitchen area now in that side building that house, or did you go right to Mike?
I drug all my stuff to Mike. I brought my whole porch trailer, all my meats, and treated it just like a comp. I trimmed everything there he had a whole film crew, 3 guys with cameras, and they filmed every single, every bit of it, from me trimming every meat to me making the sauces, making the injections. And then I cooked it all. Like I said, I treated it just like a full on comp. So it was 2 days of filming of like a Friday night, what I would do on Friday night as far as, injecting everything, seasoning what meats I seasoned on Friday, which ones I seasoned in the morning. So we treated it just like a comp. And we made turn-in boxes. I built kale boxes for KCBS as well as foil boxes for CBA.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's all the way from trim all the way to boxing.
So you didn't necessarily stick with a KCBS turn-in.
No.
You covered all the bases on how everyone.
I covered KCBS and CBA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you got both sides of the coin.
And it's been pretty cool because I guess if you buy the all access class, you get put into a private Facebook group.
Yeah.
Mike has a private Facebook group. So, I've had obviously a lot of all access, and people are posting their awards in that private Facebook group, which is really cool because the other guys that maybe, ran the rib recipe and didn't get a walk. And there's 2 other guys that ran it that week and they did, one guy got first place, another guy got second place. So, it's, as a cook, people are real tempted. And even me, if I have a recipe that works, I'm still real tempted to fuck with it, and I have to fight with myself and leave those thighs alone. Just run them. Don't try to make them any better, because you start trying to make things better and all of a sudden you end up in Never Never Land and you're not walking.
Yeah.
But our nature, or at least my nature, is to, man, I got 5th place last week. Man, I wonder if I do a little bit of this, will that make it a little bit better?
Am I going to catch 4th next weekend?
Exactly. Yeah. Man, I've gotten first place and still wanted to tinker with it. So I think it's just a nature of a cook to try to, keep mixing and matching, and I'll throw a little bit of this guy's rub, throw a little bit of this. And so it's good in that Facebook group that people can see, oh man, I just need to stick to the program. I just need to run it. And, it's worked for this guy. And these are people I don't know, they're all over the country that are buying it, and they're posting their awards in there. Some people have posted it. I mean, there was a guy that Bo Daniel, he posted on his actual page. He GC'd this weekend and he gave all the credit to me and the class. So, which was really cool, So, and he actually did it publicly, but there are a lot of guys in there posting some of their results, which, like I said, is super cool. And some of these people have never really done a whole lot of comps. So
you got the video set out. Now, I was talking the other day with Craig Sherry from Texas Pepper Jelly.
Yep.
And he was saying that that Mike is actually going even deeper now with some people on, I guess, separate recipe videos. So you'd cover the 4 meats. There's some that.
Well, it's been 2 years since he's filmed with somebody. So the last barbecue guy that he filmed was 2 years ago. And, as a barbecue cook, you're always making changes. You're always tweaking, so, I think, like, say, Lee Hickle, he did an updated version of what he's doing today, because, man, what he's doing today is probably not what he did 2 years ago. Man, sometimes what I'm doing this month may not be what I'm doing 2 months from now, because at the same time, we're all cooks and we're all trying to improve. And, we all talk to one another, network with one another, and this guy helps you out and you help him out. And before you know it, hey man, I'm really liking this rib a little better, or I'm liking this brisket a little better. So I'm assuming that, Lee updated his classes that were 2 or 3 years old, to kind of what he's doing more today.
And so, say next year you got a different recipe or you tried something new. Everybody who has purchased your series has access to that new video that you come out with?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I don't want to confuse cooks. I don't want to, if I'm running something this or running that, man, if you start chasing a bunch of different stuff, it could get real confusing. So, man, I won't do any updates until I know for certain that, hey, man, this rib's no longer working for me. I've been running this rib and it's working for me, but I want to make sure that what I put forward gets proven. Consistent results. Yeah, it's proven, because I will dink around. I'll change a little sauce here, a little sauce there. And, especially if I'm going to different regions, I'll look and say, man, what sauce did I run last year? San Antonio was one. I went back to my notes and go, man, I got an 8th place rib last year. What sauces was I running then? So, but yeah, I mean, the idea is obviously that Facebook group, you can ask questions. If there's any big changes, they'll be updated in there as well.
Yeah, and you made a great point on the, when you're traveling around to different regions. And a couple of weeks we had Matt Pereira from Matt's Backyard BBQ, one of the local guys here. And, he went and cooked the World Foods down in Texas this year and came home with a 9th place brisket. And up here in New England, you got to sauce everything because that's just what the judges are. Even your brisket, you got to sauce. And, I know people are cringing and, but that's what New England has is, it's not slathered on there. It's a very light, a light touch of sauce, but it's going to definitely be a different taste and profile than what you would normally get out of a brisket turn in other areas of the country, Sure. But so you gotta play and schedule your game around where you're cooking for sure, So that's great. So all that stuff is covered in the videos. It's doing well. You're happy with it. I'm sure Mike's happy with it.
Yep.
Obviously, people who've bought in the class are happy with it. Now, everything's still on the drums.
I'm doing my ribs on a pellet. Okay. So, yeah.
What kind of pellet are you using?
I've got a RecTech 590. And, okay. Man, I guess it's probably been 3 months. And the first time I used it, I put it on my trailer thinking, man, once my brisket's wrapped, maybe I'll just move it over to the pellet grill that way. It's wrapped. It's no big deal. There's a lot of people doing that. But I woke up a little late and thought, you know what? I'm just going to cook the ribs. Just being lazy. I'm going to cook the ribs on the pellet pooper. And, man, sure enough, very first cook-off, I hit first place ribs. And, man, they were outstanding. Yeah. And I thought, well, I hit first place ribs, and barbecue guys are a little superstitious. We might have to put this into the routine more often,
Oh, yeah.
So, man, I cooked them at San Antonio Rodeo. They're 5th place ribs on a RecTech 590. Man, I don't think people want a whole lot of smoke at a lot of competitions. I don't think they want, a real smoky, it can get bitter on you. Yeah. Man, they just want it tender and juicy. It's a tenderness contest more than anything. So
yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's interesting. We got the RecTech in the arsenal now. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I've been playing around with the Green Mountain Grill Trek that I had got, and it's definitely it changes the game for sure. Makes shit a lot easier. Now I haven't used it in a comp yet, but just around the house, I threw a 10-pound butt on there, and I'm out doing this and doing that, and the temperature's staying. It's like, okay, and it produced a great product. Like you said, it's not over smoked. I would have liked a little bit more smoke on it, but, you play around with that, get a smoke tube or, even start it lower, get more of a smolder going, then bump it up to where you want. But
yeah, but I mean, there's things you can do to add smoke. You can take, your brisket once you've sauced it, and you can throw some wood chips on your drum, and the burning of those wood chips, the smoke will stick to that sauce. And, during your finishing techniques, you can add smoke, just especially if you're saucing, because smoke likes to stick to sauce. So all you got to do is, throw some wood chips on a drum, or even throw some pellets in a drum, and you can get some smoke to stick to sauce pretty easy.
For sure. Oh, let's see. Yeah, no, everyone's just saying hi. And Joe's Meat Market, what's happening, Gabriel? But brother, thank you so much, man. This was great to catch up with you. Talk about San Antonio, smoke on the Rio, and
Are you going to be doing any live feeds at the rodeo?
We're going to try. Try. From what I hear, fighting for Wi-Fi down there is pretty touch and go. But
I wouldn't schedule anything on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night. I mean, just trying to get your phone to work there's just so many people.
Yeah. Because I think Uncle Steve said we're probably going to head out about, I want to say 3:30-ish to get there. So, might try to do a live when we get there before, the crowd really starts showing up. And, so if we do some lives, it'll probably be earlier than later. And, here and there. But, yeah, brother, I am looking forward to seeing you, meeting you in person. I can't wait. I'm psyched about it, brother.
No, it's going to be a good time, Johnny. It'll be great, man.
For sure, brother. Well, brother, congratulations. Well deserved.
Appreciate it.
You deserve to still be on Walking on Clouds over this one.
Yeah, it's still spinning a little bit. So, yeah.
Awesome, brother. Yeah. Everybody find you on social media.
Chicken Fried BBQ. It's all Instagram, Facebook, websites, all Chicken Fried BBQ. So.
Perfect, brother. So,
TikTok, same thing, Chicken Fried BBQ. Yep. So it's all the same.
Cool. Oh, and there's Uncle Steve. Doesn't miss the beat. If everybody wants to come up and meet up with Johnny Maggs and Uncle Steve and the boys, we will be at Lonesome Dove Cookers, and it is site number C271. So we will be there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So come on down, say hello. I'll be the fat guy with the funny accent. You won't miss me. So hang in there 1 second, Bill. We're going to close this out. I'll jump right back in with you.
Perfect.
Awesome, Chrissy.
Amazing.
Oh, I love Bill. He's awesome. Awesome. I was so happy for him on that, Like you said, the San Antonio, it's a very special one.
Yeah.
Houston is a whole different animal.
Right.
Like you said, there's, the sites and the teams are literally generational. They're willed down to the next. Uncle Steve was telling me there's like a 10, 15-year waiting list just to get in, if you can. Whew. It's not one of these you can just pay your entry fee and you got it. No. Wow. You literally have to, like Bill had to win San Antonio and get into Houston next year. Not this year, next year. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different animal.
But he did it.
He did it.
So exciting.
And exciting. I can't wait. I can't wait. Aaron Leslie, what's happening, brother? That's another gentleman I need to meet and get to talk to from Texas Oil Dust. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it, brother. Big Rome, can't wait to see you, brother. I still got a message out. I'm waiting to hear back on what we're trying to do on that Saturday morning. But we'll see what happens.
All right.
But that's it. Next week, everyone's favorite uncle. We're going to be talking Houston Rodeo. We're going to figure out what I am what he has in store for me, and what we're to expect. and all that good stuff.
How are you even going to focus on next week's show? But you're smart. You've put Uncle Steve on the show so that you can be distracted together on the show.
We'll be distracted together.
Awesome.
Perfect. Well, that's it for this week, folks. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. Catch the audio wherever podcasts are found. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell. You have all the episodes right at your fingertips. Hit us on social media and all the links down below. Questions and comments, please send them to Pit Life BBQ Podcast at gmail.com. Like always, subscribe, like, rate, and review. Hit that share button. And until next week, keep the smoke rolling.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.